I'm just loading up my YouTube right now, family, so give me a second. Greetings, y'all. We're going to get started in just 1 second. All right, so we're going to talk our way right through all the things that we need. Let's go. I think we can go live on YouTube now. What's good, YouTube? All right, family. We're here for our third discussion on nationality, and now we're going to go through some basic procedures and processes. In order to follow along with me, I suggest that you download a protocol manual from governmentreparations.org. It's under the Constitution Protocols link, and you'll be able to keep up with the discussion. This is vital information because we've done two. The last class was on tribal economy versus the U.S. income. We made those things very clear, even for nationals that are confused. The first discussion was on the basic precepts and concepts of nationality itself. And now we're going to go through procedures and processes. I don't need notes. I don't need anything. Actually, what I'll do, I do have my little business documents. So I'll show some of them. Some of these things can be done by Zoom. I prefer not to because I understand the human brain. And this is about changing the way that you behave as far as how you take in information. And, visual learning is a good methodology, but it doesn't strengthen the neuronal network like listening with your ears or taking physical notes and going back and having to use comprehension skills in order to activate whatever it is that's being discussed. It's called keeping you from being lazy, because that is a tendency that we have. All right, so I'm here to break all that up, and one of the ways that we do it is we require you to take good notes when you are in a classroom. This is a classroom. This is not, I'm not here to give you a hype speech, to give me donations or anything like that. I'm uninterested in that. What I am interested in is you learning the information that you need to learn so that you can operate with some level of efficiency in the society, and you will have the know-how to do it. Not the know-how from the sovereign citizens, not the know-how from the cybermoors, the know-how from people who have been living, operating functionally, right? And this is one of the reasons why I'm hated, because I am capsizing every operation that has been made to take you away from the simplicity of what this process is. This process is a simple process. It's not difficult. It's not hard. It's been made that by people who don't want you to know what it is or how to use it. Now, one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that we are very lazy people, and we don't think beyond our own immediate so-called needs. Meaning, most of us are not thinking about our children, our children's children, and our children's children's children, and what strategies to employ and implement to make things easier or the life easier for them, because we don't have the kind of heart or intelligence to do that. That is something that you have to be born with, or you have to develop by being in an environment of people who think like that. Otherwise, you're going to be a slave and you're going to die a slave. And that's most of you. And that's fine with me, because that is your choice. That is your choice. So I'll use some of these documents to show you things that you will have to do. This is some good stuff I have right here. I use these. All right. So the first thing that you have to understand is that nationality means now you have a jurisdiction. jurisdiction. Juris means law. Diction means to speak. Meaning you have to speak your law into existence. How do you do that? You do that through a constitution. A constitution governs the body. Arna has a constitution that governs our body. It is made so that anyone in our jurisdiction or anyone interfacing with our jurisdiction, business-wise, etc., will know what we follow. It is published publicly on the international level, on the domestic level, through commerce, through internet, whatever. It's available. You can read it. Okay? The idea behind the Constitution, again, is to show you the structure of society and how it's governed. After that, you will need statutes, which we call protocols. All right? And the protocols come as rites of passage, a protocol manual, other local laws that will be passed as local jurisdictions open by necessity. And these are things to govern yourself. And these are put in place by people you elect in the society to be in the place that they are. Pretty simple. You're governing. Now, in order to come in, we talked about the plebiscite and other things, but there are documents that you use. These documents substantiate your rights in the society, your right to exist in the society. So we have a certificate of nationality. That's important. All right? We also have a name change where people play with this. Oh, it's not name change, it's name correction. Y'all can play with all these sovereign citizens all you want. Name change, name correction. It is, that's what I call a filibuster. All right? So, keeping in mind that you are participating in two jurisdictions, nationality in two jurisdictions, in your own tribal government and the United States of America, you need the name change in both jurisdictions. In our jurisdiction, we have a procedure to do the name change. We document it. We authenticate it. You're given IDs with that name on it, and that information is kept on record. Then we give you the ability to go into the jurisdiction of the United States of America to make a name change to your indigenous name. You use your documentation you got from us, and you follow their laws. I'm going to say it again for the sovereign citizens in the back. You respect and you follow their laws to make the name change. Now, some people will say, oh, you don't have to go to a court to make the name change. You need to go study the statutes. There was a time where you did not have to do that. When I first came into the nation, you got a letter from the secretary and you went down to all the places and they just changed it. That's no longer in existence. So you're going to interface with the court with the instructions that we give you so you can protect your status and make the change. That way, the change can be reflected on your passport, all your documentation. So now you start in your indigenous jurisdiction, making all of your changes in the jurisdiction that is that holds the highest legal and lawful precedence in your indigenous government. You change it there first. Then once you finish it there, you go through the courts process in your county to make the change. You put a notice in the newspaper in most jurisdictions. You go before the judge. You're asked on the documentation the reason why you should put because of your indigenous rights, and you make the change. That simple. Now you're in your proper status all across the board. You don't have to worry about cyber Moors and sovereign citizens who are telling you, don't worry about your warrants and probation, just change your name to Kung Fu L. And as Kung Fu L, you ain't got to worry about them warrants no more because the Supremacy Clause says, the treaty says, and the treaty says that we are sovereign, and next thing you know, your ass is in jail. On some retarded stuff because you're listening to some weirdo who's a cyber Moor in affairs who's misleading you. Or a sovereign citizen who's misleading you. So once those two things are done, you have your certificates of nationality that's authenticated in your own jurisdiction. You have your name correction that's done in both jurisdictions. We send a notice to Vital Records of their creation of a birth certificate with an affidavit saying that they have done anything to make us human capital, we are canceling and annulling that instrument. Because it is done through tacit fraud anyway. They're not directly telling you you're human capital, but they're putting you into a state of ignorance and make you participate in contracts that lead up to the place where, oh, somebody is taking money out of my checks every week. And I don't know why. So we're making these changes, and we're making them legitimately across the board. So once that cancellation is sent to Vital Records, you have a notice to them, which is the first rule of law, and you keep that document. So when you come in, a jurist is supposed to give you an itemized list of the certificate of nationality, 2 of them. One is authenticated in their jurisdiction, one in ours. A name change document, so it can be used, authenticated in our jurisdiction with instructions to how to do it in your county level. A cancellation of the birth certificate, so that you can send notice to Vital Records that if they have tried to make you human capital, it is illegal. They know that it is illegal. Citing the laws that say that notice is given. Now, keep in mind, this is not the fake authenticate your birth certificate process. Matter of fact, let me back up a little bit. It is not the fake authenticate your birth certificate process, which means absolutely nothing. What are you authenticating? The fact that it's a Vital Records document? We know the people who came up with that. The Masonic Moors who came up with that process. We understand. In our community, they got it from other people. It's an erroneous process. It means nothing. So my caveat to you, my warning to you is there are all types of procedures out here, and people are telling you these things. And the one question you have to go back to is from video 1. This is the 3rd video now. Go back to video 1. And what did I tell you to ask them? What is the name of your government? You're telling me to do all these processes. What is the name of your government? Where are the institutions? Where's the Constitution? How are y'all governing yourselves? Not a process that's being emailed all around to everybody as a sovereign citizen. Or what other terminologies that they're using. It's bogus. It might not be sound on YouTube. And YouTube has this thing where they block me out. So what? If they're saying there's no sound on YouTube, I put out the flyer and I said what? I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. This is the problem with our people. I have to critique you because you don't know how to adapt. You can have someone, the flyer was this big with probably 20 words on it. Instead of reading the 20 words, the lazy mind says, oh, YouTube is shadow banning Ali or blocking out his volume. Okay, we're going to go, because he said he was streaming on Facebook and IG too. We're going to go check there. So the ability to make adjustments is important. But you have to become a thinker. These processes are putting you in the pathway of thinking right, because now you have to also combat all the stuff that you were taught wrong, which means you have to study and read. A part of this process is re-implementing the ability to read and comprehend, which is very difficult. It calls for you to put out a pen and a pencil, a notebook, pull out a dictionary, pull out things, and write down and study what you are actually doing. Being a corporate citizen didn't require you to know anything. Everybody who comes into this needs a basic fundamental understanding of civics. And if you're not going to give that to yourself, then we have a problem. Let me see if my sound is off. Output, input. So maybe YouTube will start working now. If not, then I can upload it to YouTube. So we got that process, right? We understand that these people are out here doing all kind of silly processes. The next thing that you're going to do is, after you complete your name change, you should have a document that looks like this. I don't mind showing it. You should have a document that looks like this. All right? This is a document where you have a business registered in your indigenous name and the name of your indigenous business. Now, there are all kinds of people online who don't like us. So you're going to hear a bunch of pseudo information. This is a tax exempt entity, and this is an entity that's registered as a tribal government instrumentality or entity. The reason why that's important is because we go to the Department of Treasury's website to do this. Now, there are people online who will try to tell you anybody can do that. All you have to do is just go fill in the information. The thing they're not telling you is that it is a felony for you to do it if you are not actually a tribal government. And how do you actually become a tribal government? You actually become a tribal government in one of two ways. Either you're going to go through the Bureau of Indian Affairs or get recognition, or you're going to write official documentation to the Secretary of State and the Attorney General for them to have notice of your operations as a tribal government. Those are the only two ways. And that notice came through a plebiscite. There's no other way. So if you haven't done that process, let us teach you how to do the process. You don't have to be under ARNA. We are actually for everybody to win, even if you're not with us. So all of the black Indian welfare haters, guess how good of a person I am? I will show you how to do what we have done, even though you went online and hated on all of us. You know why I'm going to do that? You know why? I'm more concerned with the people who are not here than you. I know you're an asshole. I know you're jealous of us. I know that you got all these other problems. But it's a possibility that something good may come out of your lineage a generation or two from now. And they will have all of the things that they need to operate. So I don't care about how retarded you are in this generation. I'm overlooking you. I don't care about how retarded you are. You can be as retarded as you want. It's possible that you have grandchildren that will be functional and they can do something good. So we'll show you how to do that. So when you go into the Department of Treasury website, you can go through the portal. You can create the tribal EIN for all of your businesses. You can tax exempt your businesses. Now, as for the people who saying anybody can be tax exempt, all you have to do is go file for your nonprofit. No, retarded. That's your nonprofit that is tax exempt that hasn't filed a 990 every year. You are not tax exempt. That is your nonprofit only. And even your earnings from the nonprofit are not tax exempt. No, they are not. Your private earnings from the nonprofit entity are not tax exempt. So anybody listening to the Bald Eagle, also known as the Bald-Headed Ancestor, also known as Eco Roberts or Rashida Roberts online, or two Hawks or any of these people saying anybody can go get a tax exempt entity. No, you cannot. Your nonprofit has to file a 990 on its group income. Then anybody who's paid by the 990 is still responsible for taxes. And if you don't pay your taxes that you got paid from a nonprofit, your ass is going to jail. Or your ass is going to get garnished. What we are talking about is my business, all of the earnings from it, from A to Z, and no IRS, no state, no city can touch it. That is completely different. So you can't access this process unless you're in a tribal government working in your tribal economy. You can't access it. So that anybody can do this process, people. I dare you to go do it. I dare you to do it 3 years straight. And I dare you to come and show that you have not got a notice from the IRS. Your ass is going to disappear or you're going to get lean. What we're doing is completely unique, completely different. The Black Welfare Indians can't do it. The sovereign citizen people can't do it. The cyber Moors can't do it. Nobody can do it but a tribal government. Nobody. Nobody can do it but an indigenous government. Nobody. And I've shown that. I've shown y'all the IRS started attacking me in 2009. I never got lean. I don't owe the IRS no money. The IRS is not going to bother me. At all, ever. If I get caught slipping, it's because of something that I did. Now, it has nothing to do with these processes that we've been operating. And we're the only ones doing them. The only ones. The only ones. The only ones. We don't want to be the only ones. I'm not proud of that. I wish that we could get 60 million people on the same page and they can do this too. And then guess what? Then we'll look up like, damn, slavery is over. The black dollar is circulating again in our own economy because we opened our own businesses. You're going to somebody else to ask permission to open your business. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You choose to do that. So with your business, you make sure that your indigenous name is on there. That means you already went and you got your name changed. If there's a jurist who is not doing this process this way, you need to change it and update your process, or you can be sanctioned. I've been saying this part of the operation for years now. All right, so you have articles with your business. One set of articles is authenticated by your jurist. The other set is notarized. You do not have to authenticate articles. You only need them notarized. You do not have to authenticate articles. You only need them notarized. You do not have to authenticate articles. You only need them notarized. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to your county or your Secretary of State and file a fictitious business name registration. These are a few businesses here. This is Fulton County. All right. I don't mind y'all seeing my businesses. All right. Why are you doing that? Because when you go to the bank, you have to show them an EIN. You want to show them your articles, and you want to show them you've noticed somebody in their jurisdiction of your operations. So that would be the county or the Secretary of State. Once you have done that, you can take those documents to a bank and open your bank account. Now you don't have to ever worry about having an entity that can get garnished. Ever. Your entity will never be garnished. Your money is protected. Until we start opening our own banks, your money is protected. This is what you need to know. And once you do that, you have your IDs. You can use your passport or your state driver's license and your tribal IDs to open the accounts. The only thing you have to make sure is all the names on them match. All the names got to match. That's why you got to go do that name change. Because now you can take your tribal ID in to make sure that it's on record that you have this jurisdiction active. That's what you want to do. Everything is matching. All right? Everything is matching. You open the account, your money is safe. You don't have to worry about student loan people, all those people. You can deal with those things with a jurist to help you get rid of those things. But now you are set. You are ready to go. You don't have to worry about all kind of flim flam and all kind of stuff going on. You don't have to worry about any of that. Then when you're in good standing, you can get your tribal international driver's license and tribal driver's license. So now you got IDs for that in both jurisdictions. Now all your bank cards are going to come in your indigenous name. If you traveling on the road, you got your all your proper credentials. You're doing this to set up your jurisdiction so that when you begin to fight issues at law, you have it on record who you are. But you did it properly. Not some scamming, I'm hiding behind from warrants type of stuff. And not only that, you're interfacing with 12 ministries to execute any of these particular things. First ministry, defense and intelligence. Second ministry, economics and engineering. Third ministry, media and diplomatic relations. Fourth council, community action and family. Fifth, arts and culture. Sixth, law and justice. Sixth, agriculture, health and medical sciences. Seventh, law and justice. Eighth, midwifery and death and forensics. Ninth, education ministry. 10th, civics and corporations and business, international trade. 11th, science and technology. 12th, indigenous spirituality and divination. You are interfacing with any of those 12 ministries. Any one of you who want to come to us to let a jury start your government, you can mirror those 12 ministries. You don't have to come up with another thing. You can just take that like, oh yeah, okay, well, Arna developed those 12 ministries and in the sub-departments. Good. That's a good template for us to use all across the country to establish indigenous government for all of our people. That's it. That's how simple this stuff is. You don't have to do accept for value process. You don't got to do the treasury account process to try to accept for value and discharge your debt. You don't have to do the authenticate your birth certificate process and you're looking around like, damn, I don't even know how I'm supposed to use this. Who do we interact with? These people don't even have websites. They just do seminars and disappear. So we're trying to make this easier for you. And it's easy when it's legit. Right? It's easy when it's legit. When you got something that makes no sense, it always has layers of complex bullshit going on. No, we're operating those 12 ministries for our own good. That's it. And there's labor for everybody that comes in. So now you're in your tribal economy. You're not in U.S. income. You're in your tribal economy. You got credentialing for psychologists, jurists, agriculturalists, doctors, economic specialists, all of these things. Y'all keep coming on and saying that. I don't care if there's no sound on YouTube. YouTube does that to me. What do you want me to do? So this is how simple these processes are. So if a jurist doesn't give you an itemized sheet of those certificates of nationality documents and instructions, name correction and instructions, cancellation birth certificate and instructions, the Aboriginal business with instructions. If you don't get that itemized sheet, they haven't followed the protocol. And with every jurisdiction, you got agents and coons and some people who just don't read. So they don't follow protocol. So I have to come on and make sure that it's being followed. Because they're given the information. This is why when I see confusion, I know you're illiterate or it's intentional. There's no in between. Because the coursework that we give in the law course is so fundamentally sound and simple that anybody can take it. Children can take these courses. So no one is going to tell me, oh, we don't understand what to do. Oh, you don't understand what to do because somebody didn't give you what they were supposed to do. They weren't given, you weren't given the things that you were supposed to be given. That's it. I'm literally done already. It took 28 minutes to describe the whole nationality procedural process to you. 28 minutes. 28 minutes. Meanwhile, they got a million processes, a million classes for you to try to figure out how to do all this stuff. And it's simple instructions. We give you the instructions in writing. The very same instructions I'm giving to you, I give to all the jurors. It's the same thing. If Black America would take what I just said in 28 minutes and implement it, they would be completely free. This is how retarded it is for us to be going around to all of these YouTube pages, things like these people are raping you. They're wasting your time. These niggas are literally wasting your time. What I just told you in 28 minutes trump everything that you see online, including all the COVID talk and everything. Y'all talk about COVID, we give y'all contraindications. Problem solved. Y'all talk about circulating the black dollar, we give you the whole business registration process for nationals and non-nationals. Problem solved. Y'all talk about nationality, we set up a 7-point system with documents for you to come in and get it. Oh, I didn't mention the genealogy documents. The genealogy documents too. We give you a 7-point system of documents that you can get authenticated. Problem solved. Now you can take that. You can own land tax-free. You can go do your agriculture based on a system designed by Aboriginal farms so that your plants can come up with the best immunity. You don't need pesticides, nothing. Problem solved. Then you can go to Aboriginal Medical Association, go through your 3 levels, and cure any disease that is in existence. Problem solved. Then you can go to the psychology department and the cosmology department, Powhatan and all of the family. Learn how to plan your children in advance so they don't come out fucked up like we came out. Problem solved. You can plan the gender. You want a boy or a girl? Pre-plan the gender. Immaculate conception. Problem solved.